Brawl Stars has multiple classes all filling different roles, from aggression to passive to a bit of both. Each brawler fits one primary role and are sorted in a certain class. In this video, I'll be going over each individual class and talking about the 5 best brawlers from each. This will give you an idea on which brawlers to max out first to have a good set and save ranked, or even just ladder. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe as it would really help me out. But let's begin now. Starting with the tank class, the first brawler I have is Buster. Buster is a supportive tank and deals a good amount of damage while also having a good amount of control at the same time. He's one of the few brawlers I'd call a true tank and not secretly an assassin or a damage dealer. Especially good at modes like Gem Grab for being able to protect the gem carrier or Hot Zone for being able to stay on the zone longer from reflecting projectiles. Second, there's Trunk. Trunk is a tank who also has a super that can be used to assassinate instead. And then their attack is already good since it leaves ant puddles. You can do even more if you manage to hit the critical spot. Then Trunk's hypercharge literally shreds the enemy by making them take so much damage just by getting hit from one super. Trunk is quite underrated in my opinion, and once people figure out its true potential, people will realize how broken they can really be. Then we have Hank, who is extremely good at controlling the map. The enemy could theoretically run away from his bubble and stop him from dealing damage, but the fact that they're forced to run away from Hank in the first place is a good thing on its own. Then he can destroy assassins just by using a super, making him a huge monster whenever someone has to go against him. Combine his large shield with his health to make him an even bigger threat, and then Hank is just a menace. Of course, Frank is a brawler on the list because of all of his annoying buffies. He's also the tankiest brawler in the game by far, making it even harder to kill him before he gets value. His super doesn't even need to be used, as he can just flash it and make the enemies run away. Then the hypercharge is extremely strong even without his buffies. Then with them, he just steamroll all the enemies with his stuns and slows and shields. That's why I'll say he's a risky pick because he could easily get nerfed to the ground, so watch out for that. Finally, we have Meg. She isn't quite a tank compared to the other brawlers in her class, but that doesn't mean she's a bad brawler in any way. She does so much damage now and her shot is pretty wide, making it hard to easily get to her and kill her. But even if you do, she has her backup base form. It's extremely hard to effectively kill Meg, and she's quite underrated in my opinion. Next up, the assassins, and we start with Shade. Shade is insane on maps with lots of walls. They can get a super in a few shots and then keep on cycling them while attacking and killing the enemy team, and also dealing a lot of damage and control while doing so. Just make sure you don't play on open maps. Shade's pretty much useless on those. But on the right maps, they'll easily dominate the game. Kaze is also on the list, and this shouldn't come off as a huge shock to anyone either. Her geisha form can deal a ton of damage at once if you know how to aim it, and if she gets countered by the enemy in that form, she can just switch to her ninja form, which is also quite capable on its own. You'd think being double assassin wouldn't make her very versatile, but she's still an amazing brawler who borders on S tier, only not being there because she keeps on getting random small nerfs for really no reason at all. Then there's Lily, and she's probably one of the safest picks as the balance team seems to refuse to nerf her despite how strong she is. It isn't crazy broken, but she's always been hovering around the bottom of the S tier, and if she was more versatile, she'd have easily been the best brawler in the game ignoring buffies. Let's hope that Vanish rework we were promised eventually comes at some point. This one may come as a shock to some people, but I also have Gigi on the list. People haven't quite noticed how strong she really is, especially in this meta. Multi-shot brawlers like Colt and Nems are at the top, and those brawlers charge her super a lot. Then her damage also racks up really quickly, dealing thousands of damage if she can catch the enemy off guard. Gigi's pretty underrated, especially in this meta, so don't count her out just yet. Then Mortis. Obviously his buffies are extremely strong, and then his new gadget is also really good for some reason. He has a ton of movement with his dashes and his other new gadget as well. And then he's also really good at assassinating, since he can unleash his shots really fast and deal even more damage with his hypercharged super. Mortis is definitely one of, if not the best assassin in the game right now, and there's not really much competition for it. Now for the supports, and starting with Poco, the massive buff he recently got has definitely made him one of the best supports, maybe even the best overall. Charging his super in 4 hits is crazy for the value it provides. A huge area that goes through walls, healing Poco, plus anyone in his range for 4200 health, charging that quickly is insane. And that's not even considering his gadgets or star powers. So Poco is definitely one of the best supports in the game to use right now. Next is Byron, and he's been good for 4 years at this point? He does a good amount of damage, and it's the exact same amount of healing as well. Healing about 6300 health with a full ammo bar is a crazy amount. Then he's got a lot of range as well, and he doesn't even need an ally to be good on his own. And his super just gives him a kill confirm at the same time, also removing his weakness of walls. Definitely one of the best supports right now, and he has been for a long time. The newest brawler, Glober, is actually also on the list, and he's broken honestly. People haven't quite noticed how strong Glober is yet, but he does so much healing, and theoretically he can do it infinitely as well. Pairing him with the tank will easily make him both dominate the game. You could say that for any support, but it's especially bad with Glober. Then the enemy is forced to move into positions they don't want to be in, because if Glober hits them, he can just keep on damaging them without even having to aim. Glober is insane and will probably be getting nerfed soon. Barry is nowhere near as broken as Glober, but he's still a great healer nonetheless. Honestly, other than Glober, Barry is the best brawler for straight up healing. Other supports either need a super or don't have great base healing on their own, but Barry's puddles last for 6 whole seconds and also heal allies a lot. Then his trait lets him charge a super pretty fast too, and that does even more healing for them. If you want a brawler that just needs the healing, Barry's your best choice. After Glober hopefully gets nerfed, that is. The final support brawler I have is Ruffs. Ruffs doesn't have a Buffy himself, but Buffies have actually buffed Ruffs. Since his hypercharge normally charges an ally's hypercharge, he can charge a teammate's Buffy hypercharge, which is normally even more powerful than normal hypercharges, which will make him even more effective like he already wasn't good beforehand. His shots are fast and bounce off walls, while even allowing him to get more area control. And sandbags help him counter single-shot brawlers effectively as well. Approaching the halfway mark, we have the controllers, starting with Otis. Otis is more of a damage dealer than controller, but if you ignore that and also watch my class rework video, he's definitely one of the better brawlers inside this class. Like I said, he does a lot of damage, 4,000 per shot in fact, and hitting a super on an enemy is pretty much a free kill on them as well. His hypercharge isn't exactly game breaking, but the extra stun is nice. Either way, Otis is really strong, and has been for a while in fact, so he's one of the safer brawlers to invest in on the list. Second, we have Ems, and it's also obvious why she's up here. Her buffies are still broken even after she got nerfed. She has slows, poisons, pushes, shields, control, immunity, and of course insane damage. All this from one brawler by the way. The only way to counter her is to outrange her, because if you try and get close, you'll get faced with that whole barrage I talked about earlier. You can also get like 3 or 4 hypercharges a game as well, making her an even stronger asset in the game. She's definitely one of the best brawlers, and definitely one of the best controllers as well. Meeple is another extremely great controller, and it's no wonder why. Their homing shots are really annoying and do a good amount of damage, and their super is a great tool for controlling as well as support. Then there's Meeple Hypercharge. It lasts for a whole 10 seconds, and it's insanely hard to kill anyone inside of that zone, making Meeple themselves extremely strong as well. Then both of Meeple's gadgets are broken and definitely S tier worthy. Making walls or having a super long stun are both really broken. Meeple generally is just great in every way, making them pretty versatile as well. Finks is another controller who's honestly quite similar to Meeple in a way. A shot that's easy to hit, a super that gives a certain buff. They're both controllers, they both have pretty average health. There's a lot of parallels between the both of them, and like Meeple, Finks' hypercharge is a great one as well. It pretty much also makes Finks immortal for 7 seconds. The Wasabi power was one of the best, so making it his hypercharge was a great idea too. And his gadget also has a lot of potential in its use cases. It can be used to troll the enemies or change the game. It has a lot of things it can do. Finks is another pretty versatile brawler, and although it hasn't been too long, I doubt Finks is going to get any nerfs, so he's another safe brawler on the list to use. And then finally, we have Squeak. Squeak's slows are super annoying. I think he's the brawler with the most slowing power in the entire game in fact. Both of his gadgets control, both of his star powers control, and his hypercharge controls double the area of his normal super, which already controls a large amount of area at the same time. Definitely one of the most annoying brawlers in the game, and also one of the best controllers too. But another honorable mention to Amber. She's extremely good as well, but this is the best of 5 in every class, not 6. I think she's barely out of the top 5 sadly, but I can see an argument for why she should be here. The first damage dealer is Spike, and guess why Spike is strong? Yeah, Spike's buffies are extremely annoying as well, and they have a crowd control abilities like Roots and Knockback, despite Spike not even being a controller. Then you can also deal 5,000 damage up close for some reason. This used to be even more at 6,000, which made it even more annoying. Then his hypercharged shooting double needles is also kind of stupid and also strong as well. He's definitely extremely strong in his current state and he's not a mistake to max out. Well, unless he gets nerfed to the ground as well. Then there's RT, who's literally a full counter to like 15 different brawlers, and a few of those are even on this list. As long as RT stays the way he is, he'll always be broken in some way. Then in Heist, he hard counters the most annoying brawlers, Chuck and Miko, since he can just wait for Chuck and Miko can't exactly do anything against RT. The damage RT deals in that form is crazy. His base form is also really good too, since it's got a lot of range and the marks can also stack up a lot of damage as well. Then there's Rico. The buff he got to his unload speed has made him extremely powerful and also extremely annoying. He turns into controller and damage healer at the same time. While before that he could still control, he was definitely more of a damage healer. Now it's just a mix of both, and it's not like he deals the same amount of damage. Since his shots are easier to hit, he does even more and cycle through way more supers. Rico's just really insane because of all of that, and he definitely needs some sort of a nerf to compensate. And finally, we have Colt. While he's not the last damage dealer, he is the last Buffy brawler, which also means Shelly is sadly the only Buffy brawler not on the list. Either way, Colt himself is extremely strong right now. The ammo steal from his gadget is really annoying and also really easy to hit, making it extremely unskilled, but it's still broken either way. Then his hypercharge makes some shots go from hard to hit to no skill, again. I'm noticing a bit of a pattern here, but regardless. This is another extremely broken damage dealer, and I think he might be the best one of them all? Who knows. And now, actually the last damage dealer, Mina is another extremely powerful brawler. I think on average, damage dealer has the most broken brawlers on this list. Mina herself is no exception. All that movement and she does a good amount of damage too. Then her super is also really good, essentially acting like a stun on the enemy brawler, and chaining it with a gadget lets her do it twice. Then her other gadget just gives her a free buster super as well. She can also root the enemies with a star power, and her hypercharge is crazy as well. Pretty much everything about Mina is really good, even acting as a partial assassin. Next, there's the marksman, with Angelo starting us off. Angelo is a great brawler and their kit makes it easy to show why. They can walk on water, they're super fast, and they can deal a ton of damage. Then their shots are long. Of course they're long. They're a marksman, but it's also pretty easy to hit as well, giving it some bonus points. Then with Angelo's super, they can deal a lot more damage, all the way up to 6,000 with just a single shot. Angelo is just obviously a very effective brawler and they're always a good pick to have. Speaking of brawlers that are always good picks, Belle is probably the most balanced brawler in the game. Although if you use her right, she can be even better. I think she's a great introduction to the marksman class itself. And she's the best pick when you have no idea who to go. She's consistent and is essentially the definition of a marksman as well. I don't know what else to say about Belle. She's just a consistent yet great brawler to have. Of course, Pierce is also one of the best marksmen, and I even think he's the best brawler in the game right now. He can constantly fire multiple shots, and if he misses one, don't worry, he can just grab a shell and regain that ammo. If the enemy is lucky enough to somehow run away and hide behind a wall, nope, Pierce can just use his super and finish off the enemy, similar to Byron. But this one is larger, and is pretty much guaranteed to hit the enemy. His damage is also insane. 3,000 for his final ammo, which he can keep getting back with the shells. Then he can also rack up a damage, a ton, and it's no wonder why he's so broken. Back to someone more balanced, Nani is a really great marksman, and is great at countering other marksmen. Some of them deal a lot of damage with one attack, and so she can just pop a gadget and send the damage straight back while hardly taking the damage they sent themselves. Then her own attack is also extremely strong, dealing around 4,500 damage with just one shot, and she's actually really good in Heist since she can just use her gadget to teleport straight to the safe and deal about 1,400 damage to the safe with one ammo bar. Finally, B isn't exactly a marksman to me. I think she fits more as a damage dealer. She constantly fires shots, and if she hits one of her shots, then the next one will do 4,400 damage. Then her super hits enemies close to her, and allows her to open fire on them instead. See why I don't think she fits marksman very well? Then her hypercharges makes her super a sure hit, making B really powerful overall. Definitely one of the better marksmen inside the game right now. Then we have the final class, the artillery class. Juju's one of the brawlers here, and I think she's probably the best one out of all of them. She has 3 different shot types. One that does damage, one that gives her extra range, and one that gives her a slow. So she's already one of the more versatile brawlers on the list. Then Grigori also acts as a tank as well as a good way to help Juju deal damage, especially if you're using the slowing star power. That's not even considering her hypercharge, which makes her even stronger. Then there's Larry and Lori. They may not be the strongest brawlers, but they're not terrible either. They can have solid control, and Lori acts as a good tank, with the gadget allowing him to tank his allies even more. Then the hypercharge spawns an extra Lori, allowing for even more control and forcing the enemies to waste their ammo and run away. The twins act as solid throwers and do well at their job. Not much else to say about them otherwise. Third is Sprout. And could you tell this class only has 7 brawlers? Yeah, Sprout is probably the worst brawler out of everyone on this list, but Grom and Dynamite are much better, so he's here instead. Sprout's walls act as a good way to control area and also support his allies in certain scenarios. And he doesn't even have to worry about misplacing it, since his gadget can just make him pop back with another super. However, if you want to max out the thrower, I'd recommend maxing out Willow instead of Sprout. I think she's much better, and she's a controller for some reason, so I can't put her here, but if she was, she'd definitely be here over Sprout. Barley is another great controller, and he's actually a good brawler this time. He has a good amount of area control, and his super makes it even better. Then he can defend himself with a slow gadget, or heal his allies with, well, his healing gadget. Then his hypercharge is sure to hit the enemy due to how big it really is. Plus, he can shoot without even needing to wait to heal thanks to his star power, or deal even more damage with his other star power. Barley's whole kit is really good in my opinion, and is definitely worth of a spot here. Then finally, the final brawler is Tick. Tick is the squishiest brawler in the game, but it's also the most annoying brawler in the game. He constantly throws a bunch of mines and they can easily hit you a few times without Tick even needing to aim. Then if you try to kill Tick, he can just use a super and force you to run away. And although his hypercharged bombs almost never hit, they're not really supposed to. They're just supposed to keep the entire area he has locked down. Either way, Tick is definitely one of the better artillery brawlers, and once again, also really annoying, so he has to have a spot on this list. And that's the list. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think Jessie is actually the best assassin? Tell me in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.